All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're diving deep into the career of a boxing legend. You ready?
Let's do it.
We're talking about the one and only Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Specifically, his absolute domination of the heavyweight scene in the 90s. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
It was a wild time for boxing, just packed with talent.
Oh, absolutely.
But Lennox Lewis, he didn't just rise to the top. He basically cleared the whole place out. And get this, he defeated every single opponent he faced.
That's right. Every single one. You just don't see that kind of dominance in any sport.
Especially heavyweight boxing.
Especially in the 90s. I mean, you're talking about some of the biggest names in boxing history,
Yeah.
all vying for the title at the same time. Guys, like, well,
Right.
you know, just absolute legends.
It's unreal. Okay, so set the scene for us.
Yeah.
Just how tough was this era of heavyweight boxing?
Well, imagine a division where every fight is a potential slugfest.
Yeah.
Guys like Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all these guys had incredible power. And they weren't just brawlers. They had skill, too. And they all wanted that championship belt.
And Lewis came out on top.
That's right. He stood toe-to-toe with the best of the best and proved himself to be the king of that era.
The king. So let's talk about how he did it.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Well, we could start with his U.S. debut, the knockout of Tony Tucker. Really solidified his place on the international stage.
Okay, that's a good starting point. What was so special about that fight?
Tucker was a seasoned veteran, a former champion himself. He was known for his toughness and his power.
Sounds intimidating.
He was. But Lewis just overwhelmed him. He was relentless, he was powerful, and he showed the world that he was a force to be reckoned with.
Wow. Okay, so we're starting to see this picture of Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Relentless, powerful.
Exactly. And that power was on full display in his fight against Frank Bruno.
Oh, yeah. Bruno was a British icon, right?
He was
Yeah.
a huge fan favorite. And that fight was just electric. The whole country was watching.
I bet. So how did it play out?
Well, Lewis just wore Bruno down. Round after round, he kept the pressure on, landed those heavy shots, and in the 7th round, he finished him off with a TKO.
Man, this guy is making a statement with each fight, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And then there's the rematch with Evander Holyfield. I mean, talk about a defining moment in Lewis's career.
Yeah, this one was huge.
Huge. Their first fight had ended in a controversial draw, and the rematch was billed as the fight to finally determine the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Okay, so the pressure is on for both fighters here.
You bet it was. And Lewis delivered. He controlled the fight from start to finish, outboxed Holyfield, and won a unanimous decision.
Wow. It's hard to imagine being in Lewis's shoes at that point. Having faced all these giants of the sport, one after the other, and coming out on top each time.
Yeah, it's almost unheard of. But, you know, it wasn't just brute strength that got him there.
So what else was at play?
Well, Lewis was a brilliant strategist.
Oh, right. You mentioned that earlier.
He studied his opponents meticulously, knew their strengths and weaknesses, and adapted his style accordingly.
Smart. So he wasn't just trying to overpower everyone.
Nope. He was always thinking several steps ahead, using his intellect as much as his physical prowess, like, for example, in his fight against David Tua.
Okay, remind me, Tua. Who was he again?
Oh, Tua was a knockout artist. Really dangerous left hook.
Oh, right.
But instead of trying to brawl with him, which would have been a dangerous game, Lewis used his superior reach.
I see.
He kept Tua at bay with his jab, controlled the distance, and picked him apart from the outside. It was a tactical masterpiece.
Wow. That's fascinating. So he was a chess player in the ring.
Exactly.
Calculating every move.
Absolutely. And he didn't do it alone either.
Oh, right. His legendary coach, Emanuel Stewart. Tell us about him.
Stewart was a true master of the sport. He saw the potential in Lewis and helped him refine his natural talent, turning him into the complete boxer he became.
Okay, so what did Stewart bring to the table?
Well, he instilled discipline, emphasized technique, and really honed Lewis's ring generalship. Stewart understood that Lewis had all the physical tools, but he needed the right guidance to reach his full potential.
Sounds like a match made in, well, not heaven, but the boxing ring, anyway.
Yeah, it was a great partnership. And you can see Stewart's influence in Lewis's development, especially in his use of the jab.
Okay, what's so special about his jab? I mean, isn't that just a basic punch?
It can be, but in Lewis's hands, it was a weapon. Stewart helped him develop one of the most feared jabs in boxing history. It was powerful enough to stun opponents, set up combinations, and just completely control the pace of the fight.
Wow. Okay, I'm starting to see why they called him the jab.
Right, and that's just one example. Lewis was a complete fighter. Equally adept at boxing on the outside or brawling on the inside, he could adapt to any opponent, any style.
Amazing. So you've got this incredible athlete, a brilliant strategic mind, a legendary coach. It's almost hard to believe he ever lost.
Well, even the greatest champions have their off nights. And Lewis's loss to Hasim Rahman in 2001 is a prime example of that.
Okay, that one was a shocker, wasn't it?
It was a huge upset. Rahman caught Lewis with a perfect right hand, seemingly out of nowhere.
I remember watching that fight. Everyone was stunned.
It was a reminder that in boxing, anything can happen.
But what makes Lewis truly remarkable is how he responded to that defeat.
Exactly. He didn't let it break him. Instead, he used it as motivation to come back even stronger.
And boy, did he ever.
Oh, yeah. In the rematch, he absolutely dominated Rahman, knocked him out in the fourth round.
That's got to feel good, right? To not only avenge a loss, but to do it so decisively.
It does. And it speaks volumes about Lewis's mental toughness. He wasn't afraid to face adversity head-on.
Okay, so we've talked about his strategic brilliance, his technical skills, his resilience. But what about his legacy?
Well, Lewis's impact goes far beyond wins and losses. His rivalry with Vitali Klitschko, for instance, wasn't just a personal battle. It was a symbolic passing of the torch.
Oh, so?
Well, Klitschko represented this new generation of heavyweights. Big, powerful, skilled. And while Lewis emerged victorious in their fight, Klitschko went on to have a dominant career of his own.
Right. It's like their clash really shaped the future of boxing.
Exactly. And Lewis's influence transcended borders. He wasn't just a champion in Britain, he was a global icon.
Absolutely. He was respected by fans and fighters worldwide.
He had this aura of dignity, of sportsmanship, and a relentless pursuit of excellence.
He really redefined what it meant to be a heavyweight champion.
On all levels.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground here today. Lewis's strategic genius, his incredible skill, his resilience, his global impact.
Yeah.
It's been a fascinating journey through the career of a true boxing legend.
Absolutely.
So if you could sum up Lennox Lewis's career in just one word, what would it be? I'll let you ponder that one. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep. See you next time.